Hey everybody, it's Tony here with the Dr. Z Show. We're going to be doing something a little bit different this week. I'm currently leaving my house right now, and I'm on my way to the airport to go see our other co-host, Jacob. He's getting married this weekend, so we're going to have some interesting live experiences for you guys, and maybe when I get back, we'll put it all together and we'll have a big vlog going. What do you guys think? Let me know, and we'll see you later on the Dr. Z Show.
Live from New York.
Not live from New York or from San Francisco. We are live from Utah. And
live.
Look who it is.
Hi.
So, today we spent most of the day at campus. I don't know, do we want to say where you go to school?
Yeah, sure. I went to the Bayou as
Brigham Young.
As me and my brother-in-law call it. We call it the Bayou. BYU.
So that's where we are right now. We're on our way to do what? What are we on our way to do?
We're gonna go play DDR because, well, it's the best.
Yeah, he's not wrong. So we're going to, what, Nickel Arcade?
Yeah, Nickel City.
Nickel City. Sounds like a Sonic the Hedgehog stage.
Yeah.
Nickel Zone, Act 1.
Yeah. It's a really good local venue. It's just like a nice like arcade and laser tag place, and everything is only like 5 cents.
Hence the nickel.
Yeah. But you have to pay like a minimum fee of like $5 to get in, and then all of the games are like 5 cents from there.
So it's like a nightclub, but with nickels.
Yeah, but it's really good. You can get a lot of games in. I don't know, me and my fiance, is one of our first like date-ish kind of activities was there. We played Metal Slug 3.
Metal Slug.
And we beat it, so that was fun.
Yeah, well, with enough nickels, you could beat anything, even Metal Slug,
including cancer. Donate.
I mean, you're not wrong. You could beat cancer with nickels. You ingest the nickels, and they kill the cancer cells in your body. That's how it works, right?
Yes.
Was that not the biology chapter you were just studying?
I'm a certified medical professional.
I mean,
not yet.
Who's been perpetually sick for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's how you lose.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what we're up to today. We're picking up a friend of ours later from the airport, and then we're probably gonna eat what, in an Uch burger. So that'll be a first-time experience for some of us.
The burgers at Del Taco are awesome.
I'm sorry, you said the burgers?
Yeah, the burgers at Del Taco are awesome. They're amazing. For being burgers at Del Taco. They're not like Five Guys burgers, but like they're better than McDonald's burgers.
I mean, hot dogs are better than McDonald's burgers. Is a hot dog a sandwich? The real question.
No.
No. Why not? Why is a hot dog
because
not
it's a hot dog. It's its own thing. It's a hot dog. The meat is cylindrical.
We got some opinions today. No, I believe that a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Okay,
a hot dog is a hot dog.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what we're up to today. We'll probably check in with you guys tomorrow.
Is that Herman?
Yeah, tomorrow. Alright, we're out here.
Herman! And we're back with the live stream of the Dr. Z Show and my wedding. Hey.
I'm driving, so this is not. Do not blame me for any of what is about to happen.
Okay,
the things you are or are not.
What's a bay wheel? I gotta know.
So
what is a bay wheel? It's so important.
By the end of this, you will know.
Yeah, we got Brett, Alex, and Connor with us.
Alex.
So, Connor has been.
It's me.
Connor's been asking. He's been dying to know what a bay wheel was.
Not B-A-E.
Yeah.
B-E-Y.
B-E-Y.
Not B-A-E.
Okay, is the wheel part spelled differently?
No.
Is it like,
no, it's just B-Y wheel.
Is that there's no? It's not like W-Y-L or anything.
No. W-H-E-E-L. Okay, so bay wheels were. Imagine turning a Beyblade sideways and having it be a uniform shape. That it was a bay wheel. So you still put it in a little launcher thing, and then you like pull the cord and
how do they fight?
You
Is it a
hope
race?
they run into each other.
I was gonna ask
Sometimes
like
they're a race.
Beyblades, but with wheels.
Yeah.
Well, with Beyblades, there was like an arena, and they would be forced into the center
Yes.
based on the shape of the arena.
There-
oh my
I think
gosh,
there
I'm
was
like such a dork right now.
I think there was a mix. There was a mix of Bay Wheels, like having like a little ramp and like course that they would go through.
Oh, so like two ramps, and they smash each other in the center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
sounds
like
dope.
like hot
That-
like Hot
the
Wheels.
cartoons is about as thrilling as that sounds in real life.
Yeah.
They make
Well,
it
I
much
remember
more
in the
cinematic.
cartoon, the Beyblades hitting each other wasn't even like part of the contest. It was mostly just them like summoning like giant spirit dragons that
Yeah.
fought each
Okay,
other
so
while the wheels like
so-
kind of clunked against
So
each
what
other.
happened was in the Beyblades universe, the official lore
Dragoon!
is that a meteor filled with these spirits of some alien race. So it's basically the plot of Final Fantasy Spirits Within, except for Beyblades come out of it.
Except worse.
So better in every way. Is
Worse
what
than
you're
spirits
saying.
within?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh
Um,
no.
yeah. You also can't. My phone has kind of a terrible GPS
That's helpful.
sometimes. So sometimes it doesn't track perfectly.
That's helpful.
Because I dropped it in water.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to do that.
This hurts the phone.
Okay, so a meteor hits the Earth, and it,
Mhm.
like in Metroid Prime 2, it splits it into parallel universes, and in each of the different universes, there's different Beyblades,
You
and
have to use Metroid Prime 2 to explain your analogy. It's already off the rails.
the people that found the meteor were mining it, and they were like, wow, this is full of like spirits and crazy stuff. We're gonna use this to make spinning tops for children, because, you know,
Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah.
Why not?
There's always one of those in every universe.
They got
Yeah.
the idea from Pokemon where you send a 10-year-old to take down a gangster organization.
Exactly.
After a police force of 3 people
So-
spend the entire game at one person's house.
Yep.
so the way that you know about most of this plot, just
You just
really
told us.
at all, is from me. I
you
wrote
just-
the entire anime. No, just kidding. In the Bay Wheels anime, they the Bay Wheels anime
Because of money.
because of
Because
money.
of money and
Sell
Japan.
toys
I
and
like
kids
money.
That's fair.
In the Bay Wheels anime,
the
the main villain is a scientist who discovers that there are other universes, and he decides it would be a great idea to take over all of these universes with inferior Bay things.
Bay things.
Bay things. Yes.
Yes.
Because he's
Danger
world.
he's
Yeah.
he's
Bay
like
circles.
yeah, he's like Bay Wheels are infinitely
Wait.
more powerful than Bay Blades. So
I have a question. Are they all circles?
yes,
Okay,
they're,
good.
they're all
There's
circles.
no like shuriken form.
No, they're all
Bay
circles.
squares.
Yeah.
Some of them are cheese danishes.
But
The Bay
chosen
Danish.
one has the Bay sphere, and he just like destroys everyone.
Some of them
Yeah.
are just plate spinning.
Yes.
okay.
Bay plates. Bay plate. Bay plate. Let
Omnidirectional
it
Bay
spin.
sphere.
You gotta pitch that to them now. They'll take it.
It's the only logical leap.
Let's
Sequel.
Bay
Beyblade,
plate.
Beyblades.
Let's Bay plate.
Okay, I'm gonna need to use my phone for
Okay.
directions because your phone is trash because you dropped it in water like a fool.
Oh yeah. It sometimes
it still thinks we're at Jacob's apartment.
and also
So-
sometimes it still thinks that we are in the middle of Utah Lake. It'll just be like, hey man, you're in the middle of Utah Lake.
Just
and I'm like, I
it's
know I dropped you in
remembering
water,
you
but
Dropped it in water.
Oh my
but
gosh.
you're not in a lake right now.
Was that the water you dropped it in?
No.
Your
Okay,
phone
well,
has nightmares of
we'll
being
see
in
you
a
guys
lake?
next
You're,
time
like,
on the
changing
Dr. Z show.
GPS?
Bye. And it's not worth repeating, especially when we're back with the Dr. Z show. So we just spent entirely
Now
too much
the
time.
audience will never know.
We spent entirely too much time at
Poor
Dave and
fool.
Buster's, which is where we went for Jacob's bachelor party. How do you feel, Jacob?
I'm dead.
People come to the
inside.
doctor.
Yeah, because he played Pump for what, like 6 rounds straight without stopping,
I feel
like a
I'm being
psychopath.
And also
monetized.
my throat.
Yeah, no, we're gonna use Alex and his new llama Dave for money. We're not gonna tell you how, but know that that's coming.
You
So-
too can be part of my reverse
So
funnel.
Jacob, you're getting married tomorrow. How do you feel?
I feel really excited about that.
Wait, let's see.
You don't sound
Because my
excited.
throat is
really excited.
because my throat
Check
is
his pulse.
dead.
Check his pulse.
My throat is dead.
He's totally
okay,
dead,
he
and he's
feels
driving.
excited.
Whenever I'm in an area that's full of loud things and I'm trying to talk to anyone ever, my throat will always inevitably die.
Yeah.
It's always worse if I have like
throat
any soda or anything. It dies much quicker. This happened at like dances that I would go to in high school, and by the dance
He was a big partier.
Yeah, the dance would go to like midnight, and then my throat would be dead by about 10:30. 10:30, 10:15, and I would be trying to talk to girls that I was dancing with, and I'd be like,
Girls, multiple.
and they'd be like,
Multiple
what?
girls.
I can't hear you, and I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like I could like muster up just enough vocal, I don't know, gusto to like ask them to dance, and then that was it. Like,
Well,
it
there
over.
was that one time that you came to Glen Echo with us, and you asked everybody to dance by running as fast as you can, and then jumping onto your knees and sliding across the wood dance floor.
Oh.
And no one ever turned you down when you did
Yeah,
that.
I first did it to an old lady, and then
Whoa.
after that I did it to everyone.
You just kept going younger and younger and younger until you reached your limit?
Start at the top and go down.
Yeah.
Okay, this is becoming very inappropriate very quickly. So we will probably be back tomorrow at some point. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next time on the Dr. Z Show.
Adios.
Bye!
Okay, so we're back with the Dr. Z Show. Finally. We promised we would return, but we have returned. And we're doing something new this week. What are we doing that's new?
Well, our faces are showing, which
Oh, God.
I gotta
We'll see
say
if this proves to be any kind of worthwhile. If it does, great. You get to look at our dumb faces every week. If it doesn't, well, then you're missing out.
But you gotta say though, like looking at my face in the truncated mini thing, makes me look like not me.
It's just a smaller version of you.
I know, but it looks weird. Like everything's all like scrunched together.
I mean, your feelings are valid, except when they're not.
I just feel like my face looks really long.
I mean, your face is kind of long, though. Like,
Yeah. But I just feel like it looks extra long.
I mean, I guess so. Like,
Also, apparently, apparently, Tony changed something in the apartment. And I
one
know it.
minor detail. A very, very small detail. But I will not tell you what it is. But I am a monster for doing so.
I mean, our heating hasn't been working, but I don't think
No,
that
I did not destroy your heating. Don't worry. That is not the small detail that I changed. I am, based on what it is though, I am 100% certain that you have already found it and rectified it. So you can live happily or unhappily with that knowledge
I'm so afraid
to go out.
at night. You didn't change like the TV's brightness settings, did you?
No,
Okay.
no, like I said, I'm sure you have found whatever it is and have fixed it.
I kind of doubt it. We haven't needed to fix anything. Unless it can't be the bed.
No,
Nope. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
now it's like gonna give you anxiety.
It's killing me.
Well, I can't help you. So anyway, before this video, we put our vlog adventures, which were less than I originally anticipated because I woke up on the morning of the wedding with no voice.
Yeah.
So that went well.
Well, thankfully, there was enough time for sleeping and everything, that the best man speech went well.
Well, I was looking at the video that Claire took, and I sound like Darth Vader. Like I had a bad day.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah,
we could understand you. That was all that mattered.
that's true.
You didn't
I
have to
wanted
be. You just had to be heard.
true. So that happened. I don't know. I think I enjoyed doing the few vlogs that we did
Me
while
too.
we were there.
We got to talk about the plot of Bay Wheels.
I
and the
still can't
general.
believe, like, how did that come up? That's what I'm trying to remember. Like,
Brought
how?
up, brought up the Beyblade Moses.
Oh, right, I did, like an
For
idiot.
part of that, but you brought that up.
In the Beyblade universe, Moses parts the Red Sea with a Beyblade for some reason. Like, I don't know what purpose that has, but he did
To
it.
show how powerful Beyblades are.
I mean, maybe. Is that like blasphemous?
Let my
Though?
people spin.
Like, is that considered like blasphemous? Because like you're changing the like
I mean,
story of
like
like one of God's miracles.
blasphemy is I don't know. It's
Well, I think blasphemy is like defined as like the actual definition like is when you like say that you are God or you are a god or whatever.
yeah, and it's one of the at least in my experience, like a different lore or religion having different beliefs isn't blasphemy. It's like that's their beliefs. So if like in the religion of Beyblade, like
Is,
that's
is
fine.
it a religion?
So that's fine. It's everything.
I mean, basically, like
I mean, if Twitch chat can worship Helix Fossil, then
that's true. I always forget that that
there's
happens.
there's so
Like
it can be anything.
I always forget that that happened for some reason.
I do wonder if I should turn around as well, so the lighting's better. So I'm
That
not
is
just this.
that is better lighting.
So I'm not this like dark image. Yeah.
The Nega Jacob form.
The only thing like Abby and her sisters did run into like more modern blasphemy, where like someone from the pulpit was saying things that just like weren't true, and they were like, "Hey, like this is a problem." I don't
Like what
I don't know
was it like?
I don't know the full story, but like saying like I'm just trying to like make something up. They're like, oh, like in the last days, like dinosaurs will come back to the earth or something. It's like we don't believe that. Like, why are you saying this from the pulpit?
You have too much
just
power to say
just
things.
like example. Yeah.
Although, I don't know. Anyway, we did not come to talk religious. Somehow we always get into like a religious discussion. We did not come to talk about religion again.
I think this is the first one that we've like spent like an ample amount of time on. I think at the end of one episode you asked me a question, but other than that, like we've done pretty good at following the mantras of keep everything nerdy.
Anyway, what did we come to talk about? Because you had something that you wanted to talk about.
Basically Endgame.
I mean,
And also whatever you did to the apartment that I'll never know.
you'll find
Like,
out eventually.
oh, was it the mirror?
What mirror? What?
There's a mirror in the main room, and it was like off. It wasn't
No?
like sitting straight on the wall. Oh my gosh! Ah, that's the only thing that I've fixed in the apartment since we got back.
Maybe Abby fixed it.
She might have. Nope. There's also just so much stuff because we moved all my stuff in like afterwards, so like it could have very well gone completely unnoticed.
Okay, well, I'll give you a hint. It was in the back of the apartment. Like when you walk in, like it was in one of the rooms that's in the back.
Okay.
You have to have like noticed and changed it
Wait,
by now. That's all I'm saying.
You mean Abby and I's apartment, right?
Yes, yeah, not your apartment.
I'm very afraid.
If you haven't figured it out by the end of the show today, I'll think about telling you.
Well, I'm not gonna go check right now. Like, the internet doesn't need a tour.
Well,
of my...
I could see you thinking about it. I can see your thoughts. Anyway, so Endgame. So the burning question: did you have to get up to go to the bathroom during Endgame?
Oh no.
No, yeah, I didn't either. I like thought about it like an hour and a half away in, and I was like, nah. Can't miss anything.
We are heathens, and we did sneak food into the theater. So we were eating like chips and stuff that we had bought at the grocery store beforehand.
Bought like a party-sized bag of chips.
Yeah, no. I bought a can of Pringles, and then Abby got one of those mixes with like the rye like pita chip things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Which I used to hate as a kid.
How do
but
you
I really
sneak
liked.
things to the theater?
You have a woman. Can't do it as a man, not anymore. As a man, you can only do it in winter when you have a large coat.
You have a without missing. You have a woman. Deadpan. You have a woman. Reminds me of what your dad used to say, but me man, you a woman, we dance.
Yeah, that was my dad's suggestion for asking like my girlfriend at that time to like homecoming or like prom. I was like, I wanted it to be special, and he's like,
Didn't
just
you
do it.
that though?
No, I told her about it, but I didn't actually do it.
How did you ask her to prom?
I wrote a haiku. One year I wrote a haiku, and the other year I sang "Would You Go With Me" from Josh Turner.
Okay, yeah, that was senior year. Okay.
Yeah, and I had Connor play the guitar.
I'm still bitter about my senior year idea crashing and burning. Oh man.
I don't remember what it was.
You don't remember what it was? It had to do with the one act that you directed.
Oh yes, okay.
I'm still bitter about it.
That's right, because you were gonna. You were. Did.
Okay, so let's tell the whole story. We gotta tell the whole story.
Yeah.
So what happened? Do you remember?
Well, I remember you had plans to before because the name of the one act that I directed was called Love, Death, and the Prom, which was just a bunch of little vignettes of none of the characters were really consistent among any of them. It was just all these like kind of short stories of people being in high school and dealing with problems. And Tony was in it, so before he was going to before we started, he was going to ask his girlfriend at the time, Arlie?
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to ask her to prom. But
because at the beginning of all the one acts, it was like I don't know if
all of the directors before each one act would kind of introduce themselves and what their one act was.
Oh, right, because I think that started because some of them wrote their own.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
so
not
they had to introduce,
that year, but historically, yes. Some of the students had written their own one acts.
So anyway,
But then it got kiboshed by the teacher,
yeah,
drama teacher.
who always made a big show about like one acts are student directed, like they're very hands off, like you guys kind of have whatever freedoms, like
Mhm.
within reason, like you have like kind of whatever freedom you want or need or whatever to do your one act, like
Yep. Use school
the
funds
like wasn't like
to
absolute.
down.
The freedoms like weren't like absolute or whatever, but it was like you could do kind of whatever you want. And so you came out. The idea was for you to come out on stage and be like, "Oh, I'm Jacob. Like my one act is Love, Death, and the Prom." And speaking of prom, and then I was gonna come out and ask her to prom in front of like all the people that were there. And she got. I remember us like not specifically like my idea wasn't specifically to ask permission, but to just like tell her, so she wasn't like up in the booth like panicking, like what's happening.
Yeah.
But I remember she got really upset about it. Like she was like really angry, like this isn't about prom, like and like went on this rant. I was like, crap, like calm down, like it's not that serious. Anyway, I'm still bitter about it. Whatever. It ended up working out. I think I asked her like intermission shows.
Sometimes trying to be courteous and letting people know about your plans backfires. Moral of the story.
Yeah. Moral of the story: everything is a surprise. Don't tell anybody about your plans.
Ever.
Ever. Just surprise them. Just show up.
Apparently, Warren Buffett didn't tell anyone like what he was doing with their investment money. He would just like give them back the returns, and they'd be like, "What are you investing in?" And he's like, "I'll tell you later." Like, I read it in the Jimmy John's that I went to. There was like this like list of like Warren Buffett quotes. I don't know why. It was really weird.
What Jimmy John's were you at where that was like a thing?
The one in Springville, Utah.
How did we get on this from Endgame?
Bitterness. Oh, sneaking food in to the theater.
Okay, I'll have to rewatch and like figure out how we got here.
I know how we got here.
I'll draw like a map or something.
I like our tangents are about as actually our tangents are more complex than the plot of Endgame.
Well, the plot of Endgame wasn't complex. It was we're angry because Thanos is a mean person.
And I also didn't understand the exact mechanics of it because I thought it was more of like a Harry Potter like same timeline kind of deal.
Oh, the time travel?
Yeah, but it's more of a like parallel timelines. Like by going back in the past, they automatically create a split in the timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sorcerer. I keep calling her the Supreme one. The Sorcerer Supreme explains that in Endgame during the Battle of New York from the first Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah, because I just thought that she was originally I thought that what she was saying was that like if you take the stones out, you're gonna create a parallel one. And they were like, no, we're gonna return them so that there is no parallel one. But just by traveling back in time, they did create a parallel timeline. But they returned the stones back to the timeline that they stole them from so that it wouldn't like break everything.
My understanding was like a little bit different in that like they go back in time to their timeline where Infinity War already happened and the snap had already happened and reverse the snap before it happened to stop Thanos from getting all the Infinity Stones and causing the snap.
Nope, because everyone remembered everything. They when they used the gauntlet, they just brought everyone back and kept the 5 years of timeline that had happened where everyone was mourning because
3 years, I think.
Kid.
Was it 3 years?
It said 5 years. 5 years later.
because Tony didn't want to lose his kids, so he was like, "We'll just use it to bring everyone back, but not change, not
Anything else.
undo." Yeah.
So
Yeah.
does that mean that they fixed their timeline, or they created a timeline where they never went to the future, or they never went to the past?
Parallel timelines where Thanos loses. There's a timeline where he does the snap and then the snap is undone, and there's a timeline where he goes to the future of another timeline and gets killed, so that he's never in that other timeline to cause Infinity War. So Avengers win both ways. In two separate timelines, they win ultimately.
Okay.
Except
so
in one
it doesn't
timeline,
matter.
Gamora's gone, and in another timeline, Black Widow's gone.
But Gamora was gone in the timeline when Black Widow was gone. No, because
she has now.
they went to Vormir earlier.
Yeah, and she was displaced from her timeline into the new timeline that they created.
Okay.
Because she followed, and that's the reason why Nebula killing the other Nebula didn't do anything. And like they said at the beginning of the movie, it won't work like Back to the Future, where affecting the past will affect the future.
Change the future, right? Like Back to the Future? No.
So
what was your like overall takeaway? I heard a lot of people saying that they liked Infinity War better, or that they thought Infinity War was a better movie. What was this your favorite Avengers movie? First, start there.
no, it did make. I mean, like, it had some like good tearjerker moments. I think I don't know. It was. Okay, I will say this. The things that I liked about Endgame were that I think it did a good job of realistically looking at how losing in such a fantastic way would break them.
The Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was handled really well. Like Thor's, well, some of it was a little bit for comic relief, I think. Thor's like downturn made sense.
Yeah.
Like Cap, like having the recovery group, like that made sense. Like Natasha trying to like hold on to, fighting
family that she had.
Yeah, and fighting the good fight still. Tony at first just kind of like, not you.
Well, right.
At first just like kind of giving up and moving on. I think that made sense. But also still being himself and looking into it.
Yeah, like not only did he he moved on, but like I think him looking into it showed that he like never really moved on.
Mm-hmm.
Like he moved on in the sense that like, he like had a family or whatever, but he didn't move on to the point where like he just like forgot about what had happened.
Yeah.
And I think that was very important.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, so I think it was a real it. I'm not sure which my favorite. I'm tempted to say Winter Soldier.
That's a lot of people's favorites. I know that's Ian's favorite.
Yeah, I really like that movie. Like,
it was very good. No, like I still watch clips from it and being like, wow, like I didn't realize at the time, like watching it, how good this movie really was.
Yeah, but I don't have any complaints about Endgame where I would be like they should have done this different or anything. I think it was all handled very well. It was really, really solid. And it tied everything up, which I appreciated. Like how it tied up all of the characters like whose contracts were up. Like
Yeah.
it didn't just like sort of like throw away, kill them off. Like okay, like these characters are done now. Like it was all very meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And their like disappearance or absence from the later movies like will now make sense.
Yeah. The the one complaint that we actually, in talking with Abby about it, that we both agreed on was that Hawkeye, like trying to sacrifice himself, was just like, no, like you have a family to get back to, like you have a wife and kids, like you can't just like kill yourself. Like,
Oh, I mean,
and he was kind of despondent because he was like, I've murdered all these people, like I'm a bad guy now, like no, shut up, man. Like we're trying to undo like the very reason that like you're mad at yourself for in the first place.
so like why did he go on this like murderous rampage and like kill people? Like I didn't understand like what the connection was. Like
I think it was. Oh, Abby just shouted from the other room. Well, it wasn't really a shout because I could hear it, like room voice.
I get it.
Yeah, she said that he was mad that good people had survived, or no, he was mad that evil people had survived at the snap when his family was taken, and so he was like doing Thanos's work.
Well, so like who, since he wasn't with the Avengers when the snap happened, who like it makes sense for Scott because he comes back to his daughter and his daughter was there or whatever, and so she like knew what had happened, but Hawkeye was just like out with his family, like, and then they were all taken in the snap. So like, who explained to him like, okay, there was this guy Thanos, he did this thing, he got all these stones, and he like snapped, and like half the universe is gone. Like, who explained that to him?
Well, Abby pointed out that it was explained to the world, like, Captain America has that group meeting where he's talking with them about what Thanos did. So it's like everyone knew. Like it was, it's never shown in terms of like, this was the news announcement that like explained everything, or anything, but like it was common knowledge that all these people had disappeared and why.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll agree with that. So the Far From Home is gonna be the next MCU movie. What are your have you seen the trailer for it, I assume?
Yeah. I just hope Jake Gyllenhaal's a good Mysterio.
I think he's a very weird pick for Mysterio.
Me too. I've never I've never seen Mysterio's like face in the comics, but I didn't really expect him to be like a
Jake Gyllenhaal
dude, I guess. Yeah, like I was definitely never picturing Jake Gyllenhaal, and like because I grew up with the Spider-Man animated series, and Mysterio was always in full Mysterio regalia every time you saw him.
Regalia.
Yeah, regalia.
Oh, so fun fact about the Spider-Man animated series. I don't know if you know this or not. He never hits anyone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You never see him punch anyone.
Tom Holland?
No, not Tom. The Spider-Man animated series.
Oh, weird.
Because like Warner Brothers or who owned it at the time?
I don't know.
Or who owned the rights? I don't know. The Spider-Man, like who has the rights to Spider-Man is just always a big mess.
Be like so aggressively kid friendly.
Yes, there were no guns, only laser blasters.
Yeah, the police carried these like massive like laser pistols. And anytime he like hit somebody, the person's back was like to the camera, so he like hit them and they like just like fell backwards. Like there was never like any kind of violence on screen because whoever owned him at the time was like, no, like this is a kid's show, like we can't have this like happen in the show. We can't
Yeah.
destroy the youth of tomorrow
I
with
grew
the
up on-
violence and the killing.
That reminds me, there was one time I was watching Power Rangers and my mom was like folding laundry and looked at the TV and was like, "What is this violent show?" And I was like, "It's Power Rangers." Like, this is the least violent show in existence. I mean, like, I know they're doing like karate, like on people or
Barely.
whatever. Yeah,
On people.
Yeah. It's mostly like explosions and then people like jumping away from them and acting like they've been hurt.
Well, someone told me about this, and I went and looked it up, and like, yes, it's accurate. Like, you never see Spider-Man like do anything violent. And then I started thinking about the other shows that were on at the same time, um, like the X-Men animated series. Like, does anything happen in that? Like, do you ever see anything? Like, the X-Men series had like a lot like darker themes.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure people hit people.
But now you're not sure. You're like,
I'd have to go back and look. I'm uncomfortable. I'm trying to think of a show where, okay, like Gargoyles. That was a show that my parents
I didn't
watch
watch
for a
Gargoyles.
while. It was a good show.
You said they wouldn't let you watch it?
Yeah, for a bit. When we were older, Rachel watched a lot of it.
Was it good? It always seemed like very strange. Like,
It was strange, but it was also very good. Like mostly due to the voice actor for Goliath. It was all him. I don't remember who was his voice actor, but he was just like a good. It was one of those things where he was kind of like a stone winged medieval Optimus Prime, where like all of the other gargoyles weren't really that interesting, but like he was like the cool one.
okay,
Everyone wanted to be him.
okay.
Yeah, and the villain was a very like Lex Luthor type villain,
Like crazy Lex Luthor or like scheming Lex Luthor?
scheming Lex Luthor, where like
Okay.
he knew that the gargoyles existed, but he was kind of on. He wanted to take over the city mostly from a business perspective, but he was
Like a
also,
legitimate way?
yeah, but he was also investing a little bit in some like kooky like sci-fi magic stuff. Like he built a robot gargoyle to like go kill them.
He built a robot gargoyle.
Yep. And it was he was kind of a weird villain because they had lots of interactions with him where he was very much so like the villain, but also lots of interactions with him where he was like, oh, like I'm not like trying to kill you or anything, like, and they're like, oh, we have this common enemy, like he's like, okay, maybe I'll help you this time, so he wasn't an anti-hero, but it was very much like a, I don't want other evil people existing as well because they'll interfere with my plans.
Okay.
So
The thing that always struck me, excuse me, as odd about the Spider-Man animated series and like the violence or lack thereof in it was like they had characters like the Punisher and like Cletus Cassidy.
yep.
And like what are these characters doing in this show where you can't show any kind of violence? Like these characters are nuts and they kill people. Like that is their mantra, is to kill people. Like how are these characters appearing in this show?
So the way they got around it with Carnage was they had him working for Dormammu for a little bit, and so he wasn't killing
Right, Doctor
people.
Strange was in a lot of those.
Yeah, he was just stealing their souls.
Which is fine, apparently.
That's fine. Yeah, it's not violent. You just show some blue energy leaving a body, and it's not blood, so it's fine. Nothing creepy about that. And then with Punisher, once again, laser weapons. They mostly only had him in the episode with
Man Spider.
oh, and
where he mutates.
yeah, the Man Spider episode, which was kind of terrifying
because like Punisher loses and
A
is like
lot.
webbed up in a burning building like afterwards, and is like mad about how he lost.
And Craven the Hunter, of all people, saves Spider-Man and the Punisher.
Yep. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think of other like things that could have been. They
Michael
had
Morbius stealing
yeah.
people's plasma.
Yep. So it was
Basically
always
eating them.
once again they always would kind of show that with like a blue energy field going around the person and then being like drained. So you never
Well,
saw and
You never
because
saw
he
him
bite
like
his
eating
neck,
anybody. He was always done.
it was on his hands as well.
Right.
It was these three little dots on his hands, and so he would touch them, and then it would be like, well, like
Yeah, but like they never showed him like actually doing that to anyone. It would be, like Spider-Man or whoever would always show up like right after he was done with them, or like right before he was about to start doing something. So they never like showed anything.
yeah. And then the one episode that could have been violent, but that they didn't show was when Blade showed up. Like,
Oh,
Blade
Blade
and
episode.
Black Cat and a few people were gonna go fight this vampire coven in in New York, and then it was during the Secret Wars arc, and so Black Cat got like teleported away.
They weren't in New York then. No, they were in Europe. They were at somebody's like castle.
Oh, okay. Either way, she got
Yeah.
teleported away. And she was really mad at Spider-Man. She was like, how dare you? Like, they're gonna lose the fight. It's all your fault. And he's like, I needed someone I can trust. And she's like, okay, fine, maybe.
A lot of people really hated the Secret Wars arc because it was really horribly written. Like the Secret Wars is terrible. Like is so bad. Especially after the actual war happens and then it's like all the Spider Men or whatever.
So I liked those episodes.
But it was so badly written. But I liked the Secret Wars episode because it had Spider-Man working with all the heroes. Like
Yeah.
Iron Man and Captain America and like Storm
And
was
the Lizard
there.
with part of his brain restored.
The Lizard.
They
He
had
was
the
one of the
Lizard.
villains that they transported.
They got him as Dr. Connors, and they restored part of his brain so that he was in the lizard body, but he had his mind.
I don't remember that, but then again, it's been a really long time since I watched it.
Yeah. And I don't remember if he got ported in as a villain and then they like recruited him, or if
I
he
think
got
that's what happened. I'm almost certain that's what happened because they had him, Doc Ock, Doctor Doom. Was the Red Skull one of them?
probably. The Red Skull was in a lot of that series, like more so than I've ever seen Red Skull in anything.
Yeah, he was like
So-
I enjoyed the like the arc that had Captain America in it and like them finding like all of the people that like had to do with Captain America and he like there was like 2 episodes in Russia where they like went to Russia with Robbie.
Yeah. I did like the episodes where they ran into those like old heroes who were they were like villains of the Vulture somehow. And they or not villains, like heroes to the Vulture's villainy. And they had like all those little statues, like the little animal statues that like gave them powers or something. It was a weird episode.
That seems strange. I don't know. We might be talking about the same thing because I remember all the Captain America like people that were all really old, like
Yeah.
because they were trapped in like the time vortex or whatever.
I think that was
And
it.
they had the little statues that you like
Yeah.
plugged in to like get into the base or whatever.
Yeah, I bought like a rhino statue at a little like gift shop because it looked like one of those, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. It's in my stuff back home.
Oh well, yeah, no. So you had to have it to sit on a dresser and collect dust or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't really have much else to say about Endgame. I mean,
Game.
we spoiled a lot of what happened in Endgame. So like, I mean,
Yep.
I'll say something in the description. Like we talk about Endgame. Like if you somehow still haven't seen Endgame, go see it before you watch this episode.
Yeah.
Uh, can I help you, dear?
Oh, he's being attacked.
Anyway,
It's the way you need it, any way you want it.
you always do that. You always do this. Why are you like this?
Get wrecked.
I said that to Claire. I said that to Claire yesterday because she opened the door, but then like let go of the handle as soon as she opened the door, and the door shut back immediately. She was so upset. I was just like, oh no. Oh, this is what I was gonna ask you. So this horrible game, Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Yes.
It's not horrible the way the Conduit is horrible, and that it's bad. It's horrible and that
It will make
people are
you
always
hate your
like,
friends.
oh, Monopoly and like Mario Kart and Mario Party, like they destroy friendships. No, like this game will cause you to kill your friends, like with death. With death. How did you find out it has online multiplayer? Because I asked you and you're like, no, and then
I
you
asked-
text me.
I asked my friend who had us play it. Brett. We were over at his house. And I asked him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like there's just a lot of it that I haven't explored. But it does have online multiplayer. You go down a well in the intro stage thing. And there's a little box. There's these little boxes for online play.
So what are the other like? So there's like obviously the mode where you like set up the obstacles and like make it harder and harder to get to the goal. What are the other like? There's got to be like other game modes or something, right? Like,
I haven't tried them. There is a creative mode where you can design your own levels.
that sounds horrifying.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
Explored enough because I haven't had people to play it with.
Abby won't play with you.
I'm bad at wall jumping, so it's basically useless.
I
Did you
mean,
hear
being
that?
bad at wall jumping is like something you. It's the wall jumping is like a learned skill. Trying to think of what game taught me to wall jump.
Yeah, Mega Man taught me to wall jump.
It was probably Mega Man actually.
I wall jumped once successfully.
Castlevania. No, it was Castlevania. One of
Okay.
the. It was like Aria of Sorrow or whatever. One of them had wall jumping in it.
Okay.
Platform is not
Okay. So, final thoughts on anything or about Endgame? Since this is the Endgame episode where we talk about Endgame.
Ending
Like,
thoughts.
why are you like this?
Which?
I am Iron Man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Abby said it was a nice way for them to put a bow on the whole series when right before the snap, Tony's like, "I am Iron Man."
Oh yeah, the like we have now come full circle.
Yeah, and also in the full end credits, the sound of the hammer and anvil.
Yeah, a lot of people. I remember being in the theater, like knowing that there were no end credits, because like people were like, I don't know, spoiling that, and they were saying like, "There's not gonna be end credits." Like, you know, there's
Yeah.
like there's it's not like there's nothing. But there were a ton of people in the theater like waiting for end credits, and then you hear like the anvil sound, and then like it fades and the lights come up, and there's this one guy who's like, "What the fuck was that?" Like he was so angry that there wasn't an end credit scene, and like people were leaving the theater like grumbling, like, "Oh, I waited so long for this." Like, so I don't know. I really liked it. I don't know if it was my favorite. I would have to go back and watch like some of my other favorites. Like I really liked Black Panther, and I really liked
Yeah,
Winter Soldier.
yeah. Abby said it was her favorite Avengers movie. In those titles.
Of the 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I liked Age of Ultron a lot.
Huh.
Ultron as a villain is really cool to me.
That's not a popular opinion.
No. Like a lot of people like Ultron as a character, but they don't like
The movie.
like almost everybody I've talked to about like, oh, like what's your favorite Avengers? Like before Endgame came out, it was like either Avengers 1 or it was
Infinity War.
Claire. That's so loud. Dear.
I can't hear
That's
it.
so loud. I can hear it more than I can hear you. It's so
Oh,
loud.
okay.
Claire always talks
Oh.
on speaker. And it's like anyway, most of the people I talked to about Avengers, like before Endgame came out and before everybody I know is like sort of has seen Endgame, they talk about the first one being really good because it like sets up the series, or Infinity War being really good because it introduces Thanos like as the villain. Like obviously he's at the end of the first Avengers and the end credit scene, but he is the villain in Infinity War. There isn't like you know other villains they're fighting.
Yeah.
The pacing of Ultron, I think, bothers a lot of people.
Well, there's a lot of people.
The pacing of Age of Ultron bothers people, like because it gets started, and then like it's kind of slow in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
even though there's all like the fights or whatever when they're in Sokovia, it's like pretty slow in the beginning, and then it like races through like the creation of Ultron, and then it's like kind of slow and they're trying to figure out who Ultron is, and then once they find out that Ultron is the villain when they're visiting the Mandarin, it like races through the entire like rest of the movie. It's just like them chasing him.
This isn't technically an Avengers movie because it's not like an Avengers title, but Civil War, I think, is like the weakest movie in the MCU. Like, because one, the whole Sokovia Accords. Like, I know everyone's like mad about it, but it really should have been called like the Tony Stark Accords because he built Ultron. Like the rest of the Avengers are okay with blaming him for that, but then the world's like it's the Avengers' fault, and they're like, no, we're trying to stop our
Well, because it wasn't about to the rest of the world. It wasn't about Ultron. It was about Scarlet Witch blowing up that building.
Yeah.
In where were they? It was like a Wakandan like embassy or like outreach center.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what country it was in.
No. Oh, yeah. But I don't know if that was.
They were fighting crossbones. They were They were chasing crossbones.
Yeah.
Well, like they blamed her for it. Like it wasn't her like fault, but it was her fault, and they like the world like blamed her for this.
Yeah.
But the Sokovia Accords, like, I don't know, I want to say obviously, but I guess it's not obvious if you've never like read the comics or know like the story outside of the MCU. The Sokovia Accords are the Mutant Registration Act.
Yeah.
So like they modified what was the Mutant Registration Act to become the Superhero Registration Act, and that's what sets off actual civil war.
Yeah.
It is much bigger than like the airport fight. It was huge. But they didn't own the rights to like X-Men. There was something about like they couldn't even say mutant, and they borrowed the rights to Spider-Man, and then they were like gonna buy him, and then like they couldn't, but then they did anyway because they're Disney, and it's just like on and on about like all this like real world like legal garbage that they had to. I don't know if this was their plan from the beginning, but I feel like it wasn't, and they had to truncate a lot of what Civil War could have been, other than just like a dick measuring contest between Cap and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because that's what it turned into, and it was very disappointing because of that.
I mean, if I was like an actual like critic, like, and I wanted to tear the movie apart, I would say that it had as much flavor as the theme cereal that came out with the movie.
I forget how much cereal you eat like on a regular basis, so the fact that you've eaten that cereal does not surprise me.
It was terrible. It was some of the worst cereal I've ever had.
That's like a bold claim.
It was just like it was supposed to have marshmallows in it, but it had like no flavor. It was some of the most flavorless. Like, I've had bowls of oatmeal that have tasted better than that.
Wow, that's harsh. Okay, so if Claire comes over here one more time to tell me we need to go, I'm gonna scream. So we have to leave because we're gonna be late for dinner.
All right.
I'll cut the vlog so that it shows up before this, so that you'll know what the heck we're talking about at the beginning of the show. Stop that. And we'll have to play Ultimate Chicken Horse, so we can talk about that next time. And we will be returning to our regularly scheduled weekly episode of the Dr. Z Show, right? Yes?
Huh?
Nod? Okay. So we'll see you guys next time. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's no. See now, like the comments were about like showing our faces because the like facial expressions that we have would like is part of our like repertoire, like our back and forth. But you're just being creepy at this point.
It's the only way.
Remind me to cut in
To always have silly faces.
for next week. Remind me to cut in Dr. Kinder's videos of us at Corral Showcase in 2012, or his videos of us his pictures of us at Corral Showcase in 2012.
Okay.
If you haven't seen them yet, go look them up and look up how mine is exactly next to yours in the album. Best.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next time on the Dr. Z Show. Let us know your thoughts about Endgame, especially, or about the Spider-Man animated series, which we spent kind of a lot of time talking about. Or if you played Ultimate Chicken Horse, fight us in the pit. See you guys next time.
Endgame, the animated series. Adios.
Bye.